All right, let me change this real quick.
Sup, everybody?
All right, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Oop, I got volume
Cut
on
out?
somewhere.
Hmm. There's an intense lag from what I'm looking at
What do you mean?
between our videos. Like in comparison to normal, I'm seeing a lag on our
Like
feed that you're sharing with me. Let me check on Facebook.
on the screen share?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, just bear with us 1 second. Hopefully, we're not going to have any kind of too extreme of technical difficulties here.
If everything looks okay out there, just let us know, or if there's anything that's an issue.
What's it look like on Facebook to you? Does everything look fine? I mean, maybe it's lagging behind a little bit, maybe a stream delay or
No,
whatever, but
I think everything's fine now. No, it was just acting a little glitchier than normal. Everything seems fine.
okay. Um, yeah, but if you're watching and if things seem kind of weird, please let us know. Definitely trying to still kind of make sure everything is good on our new setup here. I was looking into it, and so I'm actually on a laptop now instead of a desktop. And I think so the computer definitely handles it all a little bit differently, and I noticed some like mouse lag and stuff, or even some like computer lag when I'm sharing the screen, and I've got multiple monitors hooked up to the laptop and yada yada yada. And I think part of the reason why is because the laptop has two graphics cards, and your gaming laptops have two graphics cards a lot of the time, and they have the integrated graphics card and then like your good graphics card. And something with that, and depending on where your external monitors are plugged into, and then on top of that, the streaming software and all this like weird stuff starts happening. And I think yeah, it essentially just causes things to be kind of not quite as smooth as the laptop or as the desktop. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's not too bad, and hopefully the video ends up coming out looking all right for you guys. Um, but yeah, Nick, how you doing, man? What's up in
I'm
your world?
doing good. No, same old, same old. Can't complain. Yeah, just same old, same old. Nothing too terribly
Do you have
new.
your lighting on?
I do. Does it look kind of funky?
For
I'm
some,
looking at that too. You've got really nice lighting, and I look very washed out.
you look darker than normal for some
Mm.
reason. I'm not sure
Yeah,
why.
and I'm not sure what's causing that either because I have all the lights on. Um, hmm.
Oh well, I mean maybe it's just because of the shirt you're
I have a
wearing.
much healthier glow in person, okay, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah, you look like
I'm
blue
I'm not
almost.
sickly, okay? Yeah.
Like you look like you're dead. Like
Yeah,
you.
definitely in comparison to you. It looks like you got nice natural light going.
No, I've got these
The
two
same
just
ones I
lights
do
just
then.
right in my dang face. Anyway,
Hmm, weird.
yeah, we'll kind of, I guess we'll try to stop with the technical talk here. But
Nobody cares, yeah.
so I guess the first thing we get into is this. Is there a consensus on the May 2022 algorithm update yet? And basically the answer is no. Um, yeah, I mean, so the thing with algorithm updates now is, whereas like before there used to be, it was just a lot easier. Like they used to only target like one thing at a time or a couple things at a time, and it was much easier to kind of try to figure out what exactly was going on. But now, okay, 1 second. I should have a delivery right now.
You have a delivery?
Okay, he dropped it off. I just didn't want to make sure he wasn't gonna try to get a signature or whatever. Yeah, I got some new shoes, some new
Well,
Nikes.
you should probably pick them up before somebody takes them.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll get to it after this. Anyway, but yeah, so it used to be a lot easier with algorithm updates, right? Like they just didn't target as many things. Whereas now there's just so much rolled into them. It's so difficult for people to really figure out like what exactly are they doing? What are the exact changes, or how can I recover from it, and yada yada yada. And it's been a couple weeks at this point, a little over 2 weeks, I think maybe about 3 weeks almost. And from what I'm seeing is still no one has any idea of what exactly is going on. You know, people are saying all different stuff. You know, it's they target AI content or they target backlinks, whatever. I don't know. There's just a million things people are saying, but I don't think anything is reliable at all yet. I made a post in our Facebook group as well as on our email send out and requested that if people got hit by the algo update, they send their website to me just so I can take a look. And all the websites I've looked at so far, I'm just not able to draw any kind of conclusions from it, right? It's just so like, it's so
Yeah.
just hard to tell exactly what's going on. And so I'm hoping that, hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll have someone come in that has just access to a very, very, very large amount of data, right? And maybe start to be able to make some sense of this stuff. But as of right now, not so much. Wanted to pull up this one other thing real quick. This was a poll I made in our group yesterday, yeah. And yeah, you can see about, well, the question is, if you're hit by the algo update, are you seeing some of your rankings and traffic start to come back? And about 40% of the people are saying that, yes, they feel like some of their rankings are starting to come back from the initial hit, which still leaves us at about 60% saying that they're not seeing any kind of improvement at all, which of course is not good, especially considering how many people are saying they got hit by this thing. There are rumors as well that I've seen of people saying that Google is actually rolling back the algorithm update, as in like its effects were stronger than they had anticipated, and they're actually trying to kind of like roll it back and get out of it or just weaken it by a lot. But it's just a rumor at this point, and I feel like it's probably a little bit of a hopeful rumor. I mean, if it happened, awesome. If it does happen, awesome. But it's just not something I'd really expect, right? And yeah, as far as moving forward goes, it's just same as usual, right? Look at all the things. Look at make sure your technical SEO is on point. Make sure your on page is on point. Make sure your content's on point. Your links. I mean, you just got to do all the things at this point in time. All the good, like healthy things for your site. Adding new content, adding new links, just making sure everything is well taken care of and all that good stuff. But other than that, there's unfortunately not really much that we can really say to help anyone out there that's been hit by this thing. You got anything on the algo update, Nick?
I guess it's just worth touching on. I mean, I've got quite a few sites that I've been monitoring between our clients and stuff that I'm working more closely with. And early on, I'd say that I didn't notice too much with my, with the assets that I've been looking at. But over the last couple of days, 2 to 3 days, I'm starting to notice a pop.
I'm gonna let you talk for a
And
second. I'll be right back.
yeah, go for it. And so it's kind of interesting to me, though there isn't anything that we can pinpoint as far as what has happened so far. What I can tell you is it's always a great reminder when an algo update comes up that if you're doing things as naturally as possible, emulating what actually happens naturally with websites that aren't trying to do SEO but are getting viral following or press. There's just some simple steps you can take to make sure that you are insulated long-term over time with these assets that you are pouring time, energy, and money into, right? And so what do we always preach here? Diversify what you're doing with your backlinks profile, the type of links you're using, the anchors you're using. Always try and be as natural as possible. We go majority to homepage very often with natural anchors, and we're building out the overall authority of the websites we're working on versus trying to target smaller terms very aggressively, as that's unnatural typically. And although there are ways to emulate those kinds of things, they're more advanced. And so best practice is just to remember, like Chris said, continue along with content. Make sure that it's optimized to the best of your abilities, whether that's using Surfer SEO or something comparable, making sure that you're using best on-page practices, And then, of course, diversifying your backlink profile, your anchored text ratios, etc., so that things do look natural over time. And typically, if you do that and if you build that way, if you use that strategy, you're going to run into less issues as Google's continually evolves. So, yeah, I think that's about it.
I agree. Um, all right, let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, guys, like always, if you got any questions or anything, just drop them in the chat and we will get to you as soon as possible. All right, question from YouTube. Is the pillow links and niche edits our build authority for a brand new domain?
Yeah.
Yeah, so any links will essentially build your authority, right? Maybe you're asking if you can use pillow links and niche edits on a new domain, and the answer is yes as well. Our pillow links packs and our diversity links packs are great for new sites. But in general, I mean, we might build a pack of that the first month, but we'll also start building things like niche edits and guest posts the first month as well. And we'll just link everything to your site's homepage with natural anchors like URL anchors, branded anchors, generic anchors, things like that, rather than using something like targeted exact match anchors. Yeah, just supernatural stuff to your homepage, right? And it's completely good completely okay for brand new domains. We've also got a video on YouTube. If you just search on YouTube, like Sir Links a lot, building links for a new website, something like that. We've got a video that goes quite a bit more in depth on it. Might definitely help you out. Let's see, we've got another one.
Well, hold on.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So just, if you're asking this question, it's probably worth, I guess, giving you some ideas of backlinks that you can use, at least ones that, we've got for a brand new site. And so pillow links, niche edits, great options. Guest posts, also great options. Diversity links, citations, maybe if you're local, but quite honestly, I use them to pillow national rankings for national or international rankings as well. Granted, you do get some of those within our pillow links packs. But I'd say all of those just listed are safe bets that you can use and diversify with a newer website. You think I'm missing anything, Chris?
No, the only thing I'd stay away from really is PBN links.
Yeah.
And like I was just talking about before, with whatever the type of links are, just send them to your homepage with natural anchors. And you just do that for some time until the site really starts to begin to add a good, healthy amount of keywords and traffic. Don't try to push things too hard in the beginning. It's my best advice. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's see what we got here. Is it still safe to buy PBN links after the Google update? Yeah, so I was just talking about before, you might have missed the very beginning of our stream. But as far as right now, there's no real consensus on what the algorithm update has done. What I can tell you is that we use PBN links on almost every website that our personal websites. And we use them on our client websites as well that are in managed link building program if they say they're okay with them. But we in general, for our websites and for our client websites, we use them pretty sparingly. We don't really use a ton of them. But like I said, like on our personal sites, we've had zero problems with the algorithm update. Actually, we're seeing kind of a slow, steady climb after the algorithm update. Like the rankings just kind of keep going up. So we're doing pretty well, and that's using PBN links, sparingly. And yeah, as far as client sites, like some of the sites we're working on, a couple of I think one that I know of had about a 20 or 30% traffic hit. That's now starting to kind of rebound a bit. But also, I don't think we've used any PBN links on that one anyway. It was kind of a newer site. But yeah, other than that, I mean, as far as I can tell, the algorithm update doesn't appear to be targeting PBN links at all. I mean, maybe it did, and maybe you just have to be using them a lot more heavily for for it to pick up on it as something to penalize or whatever. But I just, at this point in time, I think the kind of what they're doing as far as targeting PBN links, I think this is kind of like something they're not really making much ground on and something they're not really focusing on right now. So if you're following link building best practices, if you have a diverse backlink profile and you're building PBN links sparingly as a small part of your backlink strategy rather than the main bread and butter, I don't think you really have much to worry with if you're just doing everything else right. Yeah. Anything to say on that, Nick?
No, I think that really covers it. I think a lot of people are real weary of PBN links because they're the most obvious form of like a manipulated backlink. But the truth is they're not all created equal either, right? So long as the PBN is built properly, there's no footprints, etc. And like Chris said, you're diversifying your backlink profile and using them sparingly, then PBN links, serve their purpose and can be used. I think the people that are going to expose themselves to the type of behavior that's going to get them slapped during an algo update are the ones using cheap, poorly made PBNs with very aggressive anchors targeting inner pages, because it's just obvious manipulation. So, again, practice what's most natural.
Hey, Nick, can you stand up for us real quick? I just want everyone to see how
How invisible I am.
that's kind of cool. It's
Got
not,
my Shell Station shirt on.
and Nick wore a
I've
yellow
been,
shirt, so it's kind of messing with the green screen a bit.
yeah.
Kind of cool. You're kind of like a floating head that looks blue.
Yeah, we had an episode. Oh yeah. What's it called? That girl that chews the gum in Willy Wonka. Since we talked about it, turns blue. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know what's up with my lighting today, but it definitely lacks warmth.
All right, let's see what we got here. Um, does Google automatically assume that a site is an affiliate website if pages have lots of outbound links to e-commerce websites? Why are these so hard to index?
Well, I would say that so it's definitely worth talking about, and I don't think we've talked about it on a
I don't really
live stream
understand the
recently.
question.
Well, so basically, it's an affiliate site, right? And so, yes, Google 100% knows whether you are sending traffic to affiliate links just via that they have tracking numbers associated with them, etc. So, yeah, absolutely, Google can tell that you're an affiliate site. Now, is that going to adversely affect you? No, not necessarily. It depends on how you're doing
Although
things.
they have been targeting affiliate sites kind of directly a bit more than normal within the past year or so with
Yeah,
their
sure.
algo
They're
updates.
trying they're trying to, it seems like, get away from the little person being able to do that. But if you're still looking at like websites like Wirecutter, which are just immense, expensive affiliate sites, then they do still work. But some things I've noticed with majority of my personal affiliate sites is they're well insulated from a diversity standpoint as well. So a lot of times you'll see that an affiliate site only has one affiliate, and whether that's Amazon, AvantLink, or well, no, AvantLink will get you multiple, but you're basically sending traffic to all the same website. And if your site's very large, but seems to just be some sort of traffic hub that's funneling to one location, I have seen that those websites are having a much harder time in the SERPs than ones that are diversifying where they go to. So sometimes I think, especially as affiliate marketers, we have to imagine that we want to diversify where we're sending links out to. And maybe for a newer site, if it's just Amazon affiliate that you've got access to, then just make sure you're doing more outbound authority links to random things that are going to diversify where you're pointing to as well. Because a lot of us get obsessed with, oh, my traffic needs to go to where it's going to make me money. Well, it's not going to make you money if it doesn't look natural enough to resonate well in the SERPs, right? So, I think that stuff's something that we haven't talked about that's definitely worth discussing.
Um, And yeah, and he says, why are these so hard to index? I'm not really sure what you mean, why are these so hard to index? But I would say that everything is getting harder to index these days.
Yeah.
And I would expect that trend to continue, right? There's just more and more content being added to the internet. Google has to decide which of this is important, which is junk. So yeah, things have just gotten more difficult in general for anything to index. But if you're building quality content, if you're targeting keywords correctly, and if you're, doing some link building to your website, doesn't have to be to the exact page, but just to your website in general, these things aren't really too big of an issue.
The so I think another thing worth noting based on that indexation issue is, do you have a newer site that you're getting started on? Then yes, there's going to be quite a bit of time before Google's got enough trust in you to just start putting you up in the SERPs. However, if this is a 2-year-old site and you're continually putting up content and a lot of that content isn't indexing over the course of 2 weeks to a month, then there might be issues with your site, attributed to whether Google trusts it or not. And yeah, then you'd look into the quality of the content, what your backlink profile looks like, and all the basic culprits that we look through when we audit websites.
He then says the thing is our website is not an affiliate site. So he's worried about his site, about Google thinking he's an affiliate site, but he's not an affiliate site. If you're
That should be fine there.
if you're not using affiliate links, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say than that.
No, yeah.
I wouldn't really worry about Google thinking you're an affiliate site when you're not. So it's not. I just wouldn't worry about it. All right. I've got a 5-month-old site with 50 articles that grew steadily in terms of impressions and clicks and suddenly dropped to a minimal amount. What can be the reason for that, and should I be worried? So there can be a lot of reasons for that. It's not really something we'll be able to answer for you unless you give us your website URL. If you send us a private message on Facebook or something, and we can look at it for you. But it could also just be from the algorithm update. If your traffic and your rankings dropped suddenly, a lot of people just got hit by this algorithm update that just released about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So that could be a reason as well. But yeah, other than that, there could really be about a million different reasons, right? It also, there's just not really much more I can say unless you send us a private message with your URL.
Yeah, or if you tell us, if this is like a 2-month-old site and you've been
5 months.
real aggressive with it. Oh, 5 months, sorry. Okay, yeah, it's right there. So you've been real aggressive with it, and maybe in Arefs you've noticed a just straight up traffic spike, organic ranking spike. Depending on what you did, if you took spammy action sometimes, then you can get a hard reset that way. So it depends a lot on how you're trying to manipulate the SERPs in that quick a time too, because obviously something went awry. And if it's not some sort of on-page technical factor, then my guess would probably be something to do with your backlinking style.
Yeah. All right, next question. Hi, Chris. Have you seen patterns with sites that have dropped from the December 2020 update and recent updates, links or content-based issues? As I shared with you, some of my sites dropped a lot. So you might have missed the beginning of the stream. We kind of went over this. From the sites that we've looked at, as well as just what we're seeing from people we know in the community, there still is really no consensus at all with what's happening in the algorithm update. No one knows what the hell's going on, essentially. Some people have ideas, but they're really not based on large amounts of data. From what I've seen, it's like, well, I have like 5 sites or I have 10 sites. And people sent me a bunch of sites. I think people sent me about 30 or 50 sites to look through, and even that is a very small amount of data, and trying to draw a conclusion from that is kind of iffy as far as if it'd be legitimate or not. But yeah, just from the stuff that I've looked at and what I've seen other people talking about, really no one knows exactly what's going on quite yet. some people are starting to kind of bounce back a little bit and regain some traffic and rankings. Some people there's a rumor that they might be rolling back the algorithm update, but it's just a rumor. But yeah, as far as what to do right now, just keep doing all the good stuff. Make sure your technical SEO is up to date. Make sure your content is up to date. Be adding new content to the site. Be building new good backlinks to your site, some natural backlinks, stuff like that. And yeah, at this point, it's just kind of a waiting game, right? It's going to take a while for the dust to settle on this one. And honestly, it's possible that no one knows exactly that. There might never be an answer with how Google is doing their algorithm updates now, where they just roll so much stuff into them. Maybe in general over time, maybe we have a better idea of things to stay away from and not, but it could really take quite a bit of time to try to understand what's going on with this thing. And unfortunately, we can't really give much more guidance than that at this point in time. With your personal sites, how is your informational to content ratio? Yeah, you could just do like 50-50. What do you like to do, Nick?
I would say 50-50 is probably a good rule of thumb. I'm probably more aggressive on commercial typically, if I'm being honest.
What do you think
Maybe
about?
75-25
Yeah.
on a bunch of my stuff. So it works fine. I haven't run into any issues, but maybe best practice would be splitting it up a bit more.
Yeah, you have to consider this from like the algorithm standpoint. Is they aren't looking at all of these things as in like an isolated like condition, like, oh, if they don't have enough informational content, we're going to slap them. It's probably more something like they don't have any informational content, and there's the other things about the website that we kind of don't like as well. And with all of these things put together, then you might be able to get into some kind of trouble, right? But best practice, I would say just do something like 50-50. Like Nick was saying, you can probably get away with less than that. It's just a matter of how close to the line you want to go, right?
A lot of it too is going to depend on your niche research, right? Because a lot of different SERPs, are kind of curtailed to websites that are purely commercial. And so if we look at it, there are plenty of large websites that have no informational content on purely are focused on selling, especially if we would look at like beauty products and stuff like that. You'll come to find that there's things resonating that are way more commercial, or certain e-com sites as well. Amazon, I don't think has much for informational at all.
But they're also not an affiliate website.
No, but it's it's a commercial website, so
Yeah.
products based. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. As far as the informational content go, normally when I saw people talking about that, it was more in line with affiliate websites only. They didn't really distinguish between, sites that were not affiliate websites. Like, for example, our website, Sir Links a Lot. Actually, we have a much higher informational content ratio on our website, informational versus commercial, but it's also not an affiliate website, right? We don't have any affiliate links. We have our own products that we're selling. But yeah, normally when I heard people talking about the informational content, it generally had to do with affiliate sites. But yeah, 50-50, maybe best practice. You can probably get away with more than that. Just kind of depends on the rest of the stuff you got going on. You're welcome, Sumit, and you are welcome, Steven. Yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat and we will get to them. Otherwise, I'm going to start going through some questions we have in our backlog here that we got from other places. What's up with Arefs' new pricing? Yeah, so I guess I can pop this up on the screen real quick. Arefs pricing. So unless you don't use Arefs, or maybe you live under a rock, This is kind of, oh, it's gonna be cool to see your shirt change color. Let's try to make Nick turn
Oh,
blue real
neat.
quick.
How about that?
Oh, now you're blue.
Neat.
That's cool. You're blending in. Yeah, your face looks really blue today. That's weird. I don't know.
I'm literally doing everything the exact same way that I always do, is the confusing part of
I
it.
wonder if are you using a different webcam? Maybe you're using your computer's webcam.
No, it's covered. So I'm using the HD cam that I always use, but maybe with this new well, no, because I've used this laptop already, so
All
I
right.
might just need to adjust settings.
So anyway, yeah, so Arefs, new pricing. Um, Essentially, they increase the pricing on the plans here, and then scrolling down, the real crazy part is right here, the reports. So basically, you only get 500 reports per month now on any of the plans, unless you pay more. And what a report is basically anything you click. Basically anything you click, like if you click on backlinks, if you then click on filters within the backlinks, and you're filtering the information in different ways. You go to Ahrefs and you're filtering your basically any single thing you click is consuming a report. And so if you're doing any kind of like in-depth report or in-depth analysis of a website in Ahrefs, you could use a ton of reports. Like you could use 10, 20, maybe even 100 if you're going really deep on a single website.
Yeah.
So, for a lot of people, this is going to be a huge problem. On top of the increased pricing, the fact that you're going to burn through your reports and then you're going to be hit with additional fees and stuff is going to be a big problem. And people are kind of freaking out about it right now. To be completely honest with stuff, so Ahrefs actually I saw something recently. Here, let me find it real quick. So you can go here, you can go to app.ahrefs.com/pricing. Make sure you have this app.ahrefs in there. And you can go to the report section and it'll actually have a button you can click and see how many reports you're using if you're still on a legacy account, if you're not actually being billed for the reports already. So you can see how many you're using. We're actually within the 500 right now, but haven't really been doing like super in-depth analysis recently. It's just not something we really need to do. I would say in general though, even for like very basic analysis, we're probably still burning at least 5 per website, 5 per little mini audit kind of deal. If we started going in depth more though, or I would definitely burn them quicker. But anyway, good to check out using that little this link here, app.ahrefs, if you're worried about it. Another thing you can do is you can make sure you're on an annual plan, and you get this 2 months free per month if you're doing that. And so if you get on an annual instead of monthly, and then you pay for the extra 500 reports per month as well, it actually ends up being about the same or cheaper or something. I can't really remember what the calculation was, but anyway, so if it ends up being a problem, we're already planning on moving to SEMrush. But as far as right now, we're good on Ahrefs, and we're on a legacy plan as well, so we haven't really been being hit with the new reports kind of structure quite yet. But I've been told it eventually will change over. So that's fun. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much of this has to do with their new, business plan to move into search as well, or run the search engine. What is it again?
I don't know, but
Yep.com?
it actually just pisses me off the more that I think about
Same,
it, because
same.
they've
Yeah,
been having like some problem with their normal platform, just their Ahrefs tool, the tool that we all use, and now they're jacking up the pricing and this new reports thing, and they just spent all this money on a search engine, which
they've
if we're
had it in the
being
works for a
completely
while,
real,
but
it's probably going to fail. Just being real, like the chance of it not failing, I feel like is such a small chance. And it feels like
yeah,
they're kind of like leaning on like milking their tool as much as possible to make this happen. And the tool's been I mean, it's got some cool new features and stuff, but there's just a lot of bugs and kind of funny stuff happening with it. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way a bit.
Yeah, I'm wondering what their angle is, because I mean, they've got, a lot of smart people over at Arefs. I would think they're trying to like add some sort of functionality by create or to the original Arefs tool by creating this search engine. I just don't know what the end goal would be really. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe they've got an angle that they're working. But I like, if we were placing stock bets on it, I'm with you on this one. It's just not for me. And even when they first announced that they were thinking about doing this publicly, I remember a lot of people being up in arms about it, saying, why would you do something like that instead of just focusing on the tool you have and making it better? But we'll see. A lot of great things come out of diversification, but a lot of errors do as well.
All right. Interested to what you think about using a cross-domain canonical to hide links from your backlink profile. I think it would be a natural way to hide links from Ahrefs without having to block bots. It's not something we do at all. I just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it automatically sounds like something that's unnatural for the average website to do, right? So, anything that kind of falls into that paradigm isn't really something that we focus on over here.
Yeah, like so you're essentially trying to hide things from Ahrefs so other people don't see what you're doing. But
Yeah.
it honestly doesn't even matter what you're doing. Like other people are going to build good links as well. It doesn't matter what your links are. Um, it just doesn't matter.
No.
I don't spend any kind of time trying to hide what I'm doing. People are going to figure it out. And they're going to build links of their own and whatever. It's just yeah, it's not something I spend any energy on.
Yeah, I don't even focus on blocking bots on PBNs for that matter, Needless to say, not any of my money sites for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just no point really, right? There's a million ways to skin a cat. They don't need to replicate what you're doing to beat you. They could just do something completely different and beat you. So there's just really I don't think there's really any kind of advantage to trying to hide your links. Let's see here. Excuse me. Can I buy a brand new domain and build some authority after 4 months? Can I use it for PBN? Are you saying, I don't know if I understand your question. So you're saying you want to basically build your own PBN, like build links to a website and then use that website as the PBN? Or are you asking if you build authority for 4 months and then you start sending PBN links to the site as well? Let us know, surrender, if you're still here. But I guess I'll just go ahead and start answering. If you're talking about building authority to the website and then using it as a PBN, I would say I wouldn't do that. I would just say buy a domain that already has backlinks built to it and then use that as a PBN instead, because you're going to get those backlinks much cheaper. Rather than building the backlinks yourself and then using it as a PBN. And if you're talking about the other way this question could be taken, build authority to your website for 4 months. Now, is it okay if I use PBN links to the website? It's really going to depend on basically the health of the website. What's the website doing? Has the website been adding keywords and traffic? Is everything looking healthy? Are the rankings, are the rankings climbing steadily up like that? And have they been doing that for some time rather than kind of going up and down and all over the place and gaining and losing and just not very stable? If things are not stable yet, I wouldn't use PBN links. If things have been gaining for a while and everything looks nice and solid and healthy, yeah, you can use some PBN links after 4 months. But like always, follow best practices. Don't go crazy with them. They should make a small portion of your backlink profile. Make sure you're using good anchor text, healthy anchor text, diverse anchor text, and your backlink profile is diversified and all that good stuff. Anything to add on that, Nick?
No, that sounds about right.
All right. Steven says maybe they're tailoring the Aref search engine for Singapore, similar to Russia with Yandex. I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got like, some angle. They've got plenty of money to spend on research. So we'll see what it is. I think, for us over here at Sir Links, the issue comes up with we've heavily built businesses off of the use of Arefs. And so to see them shifting the dynamic towards something else, and worrying about the increase in fees that are going to adversely affect our business, it's just not the best look from our angle.
Yeah, it just seems like a big middle finger to like just a
A lot
huge
of people, the
a,
smaller people,
a
yeah.
huge, not even smaller, just to anyone that essentially isn't doing SEO for like a large company.
Hmm.
Any kind of affiliate marketer. I feel like the large majority of people that use their tool, right? But maybe they're going for more of like the pay to win mobile gaming market, right? Where
Yeah.
the like 80% of their revenue comes from 20% of their users who just pay
Yeah.
through the roof and go nuts on spending all this money. Um, Maybe that's what they're trying to go for here. And if they're doing that, that kind of thing makes me want to switch to something else just on principle alone. I just don't want to, I'd rather not support something like that.
Yeah,
But
we like the Robin Hood style companies over here that help kind of blanket the rebellion versus counteract it.
but what I'm hoping will happen, and there's actually, it actually has kind of been happening, is there's such a large backlash to it, like just such a huge public backlash that, um, maybe they'll take a couple steps back from it, or I don't know. I guess we'll have to
Let's see.
see, but I'm not really I'm not really counting on that. Um,
I highly doubt I'll ever get rid of my Aref subscription, but as far as reporting for a large amount of clients, it'll probably just be used internally for, our own stuff versus well, unless somebody else gets pretty close. I think SEM Rush is pretty good in comparison, but still lagging in comparison to Arefs.
I was talking to you about this the other day, and I mean, it might not actually be the end of the world because I feel like in general, you don't really need to go as deep as a lot of people do in Ahrefs.
Sure.
Um, so maybe, it's just a way of getting people to like use their stuff less. I don't know, to like ease up their server
Server,
costs or
yeah.
something. I don't really know. Um, but I don't know. Maybe there are reasons to use Ahrefs much more in depth than we have been lately. But I just don't really feel like there is. Um, and unless you're just doing some super deep analysis and you're more like on the um, more on like the cutting edge of trying to figure out exactly how things are working and whatnot. But in general, I feel like for most users, you really don't really need to be going super in depth on stuff. But I don't know, whatever. Um, all right, next question. What do you think of tools like RankerX and Money Robot for tier 2 links? I don't know anything about those tools. I guess we can look them up real quick. Ranker.
I've used Money Robot before. I don't do any of the automated tier two building anymore. It's been a long while since I've done any of that. Typically, if I'm doing tier two, it's going to be with a lot of cheaper but still quality links, Web 2.0s, maybe some blog commenting depending on the asset you're tiering to, those kinds of things. And PBNs and stuff. I mean, it's pretty rare that I'd send out like a niche edit or a guest post to tier two, right? But yeah, definitely for automated stuff. If you're going to be going that route, then just take a conservative approach to it. Don't start blowing out 3,000 links against 60 backlinks, because ultimately you're spamming out your tier one links, right? And Google is crawling this entire network, and they can read out multiple tiers and see manipulation through multiple tiers as well. So if you're doing a really good job of building out your tier 1 link profile, spamming that link profile can, then target your site as a spammy site in the eyes of Google. So, you know.
Yeah, it's not something we can really speak on too much because we've definitely drifted away from the black hat into more of a gray hat slash, some people might even call it white hat. I don't, I'm more realistic. I call it gray hat. So we haven't been messing with the more super black hat stuff like automated link building. We still do PBNs, but we use them pretty sparingly compared to just stuff like niche edits and guest posts. In general, if you're using these automated tools for tier 2, it's definitely better than using them on your tier 1, right? But like Nick was saying, like Google does crawl this stuff, and just from the perspective that I come from right now, as far as building websites that are, built to last over time rather than this much more aggressive black hat stuff, I would say instead of doing this kind of thing, I would just focus on better tier 1 links. Rather than having to power up your tier 1 links with automated spam, But I'm not saying that this stuff can't work. We go over sites pretty regularly where, we're just analyzing some black hat site and what they've done, and they're, absolutely killing it. And a lot of times they end up getting penalized or whatever, but hey, in the short term could end up paying out pretty well for you. It's just not something that we have been messing with
I,
recently.
I did say something kind of silly, actually. I was thinking of like authority niche edits when I said I don't really use them to tier link build, but I do use Barrage pretty often if I want to blanket, 1 or 2 tier 2
So
links
what
to specific higher quality tier 1
what
links.
Nick's talking about is our low authority niche edits. I'll go ahead and pull those up real quick.
But main thing when you're tiered link building is you still want to remain natural, but then also typically want to have a better budget to work with. And then usually when I'm thinking about tier 2 links, I'm not really thinking about giving more than 5 links to any particular tier 1 link on any given month, because still, if you're building out that link profile to these tiered links, they need to resonate like natural sites as well. It means, you know, prolonged period of time of maybe getting some press, etc., versus just hammering them down 1 month, where 100 tier 1 links get 100 links each, all within a 2-week time span, and it's not unique content. Typically, a lot of times with these auto-generated ones, you're going to be using spun articles, etc. So yeah, just best practice in my opinion is a couple of links every now and again to just keep that tier 1 link profile looking natural and resonating as well.
Yeah, so if you go to our website and you go to our niche edits page, if you scroll down to the bottom, the last thing here is our low authority kind of bulk niche edits packs. And we like to use these for tier 2 just because they're quite a bit cheaper per link. And then, you could also use something like our PBN links, wherever they are here. PBN links could also make good tiered links. But, even those, both of those types of links are, pretty cheap compared to normal niche edits or, something like a guest post or whatever. It's still going to be quite a bit more expensive than if you're using the automated link building tools like you were talking about. So yeah, it really just comes down to what you're trying to do here. Just be aware of the risk, right? Because even though you are doing tiered link building with automated tools, you do carry some inherent risk with that. More so than if you're just using stuff like I just mentioned, low authority edits or maybe even PBN links. Anything else on that, Nick?
Mm-mm.
All right. Dan Martin says we're amazing. Thanks, Dan.
Love to hear it.
All right, I think this will actually probably be our last one here. Everyone else that's still watching, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat and we will try to get to them. Otherwise, this little audit we're going to do will be our last one. All right, so it says, will it be all right for you to take one more look at my website and let me know whether there is any weird stuff that I should fix, please? And so I guess before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a nice little review we got. Not really a review. They sent it in our client portal as a message in their order. Where is it? Sorry, just give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Oops. All right, so yeah, they said, I'm thankful for the advice you gave me, blah, blah, blah. So the advice that we'd given this person before is they were doing a weird thing where they were a 301 redirect. They had a blog. So they had their website and it said blog up top, but when you clicked blog, it actually took you a different domain. So they had a different domain that their blog was on. So we told them to just, and they actually had all the same articles, I think, on their website as well, but I think they were like shorter or something, like much shorter, but the longer full version was on the blog. I don't know, it's very,
Definitely unnatural.
yeah, very weird and unnatural. We told them, get rid of that, just 301, the other blog to your main site, 301, each article over to its matching article. So they did that. They also had very thin content on a lot of their category and product pages, like very thin. And so we told them, go ahead and beef that stuff up. Yeah, they were trying to keep it all above the fold and then just not writing anything else. And yeah, then we also told them to use Surfer SEO as far as knowing, keywords you can use in your articles, content length, all that good stuff. And so just a month, so we had been doing some link building for the site and it had been struggling. It kind of pop up every now and then, but it was just having a lot of trouble. And so we gave them this advice, and after they did that advice, it was like then the link building plus all the other work just instantly kicked in, right? And they went from only having one page one ranking to having 50 page one rankings in 1 month. So it's definitely a good month for them. And yeah, so let's go ahead and I guess we're going to look into this a little bit further and just double check again, see if we can find anything else weird going on. I'm going to get a screenshot up for you real quick so you can have something to look at while we are looking through his website. Nick, do you know what website? Are you already looking at it?
Yeah, I know the one. I can also see it on your screen.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just kind of throw this up.
So I'll pull it up.
Yeah, so there's for you guys to look at. Made the changes and just start seeing instant improvements, right? Still going to take some time. Kind of low volumes, kind of keyword type of site or whatever, but it's kind of just starting to rocket up after some easy changes were made. So yeah, let's go and look through things. I mean, I'm not going to look through the off page at all because we've already analyzed the off page and we're building links for it now. So there's not really much we need to do about that since we're handling it. But yeah, what we're doing at this point, just for anyone that's curious, is you can see how, they are gaining lots of keywords and traffic is definitely spiking right now. But as far as what we're going to be doing with link building for this site is we're going to keep building to the homepage with natural anchors. And we're going to want to see that. We're going to want to see this kind of growth for, a couple months or even a few months before we start doing some links to inner pages. Just let it keep going. Keep doing the natural stuff. Don't get too aggressive with the inner page links and don't get too aggressive with, exact match anchors too soon. Just keep doing the natural stuff to the home page and let it kind of keep growing, and it'll start to kind of slow down. And at that point, you can start giving the inner pages some love, but in general, keep up the homepage linking as well. So that's what we're doing there as far as link building goes. As far as the site goes, yeah, look at all this content. Oh my God, really added a lot more content on
Sure
there.
did, yeah.
That's nice. Um, yeah. One thing that one thing I will say this. I'm interested to see what you say about this, Nick, because I think you'll have a different answer than I have.
Mm.
So in one of his other messages he said that, yeah, I've got all these page one rankings now. I haven't got any sales from it quite yet, but yeah, my rankings are just going crazy. And I will say, just by looking at the site, one thing I will say is the site looks outdated. What do you think about that, Nick?
No, I would agree with that. It looks like a 90s website. If
Yeah.
I was to go buy these products, then heavy text,
Yes.
stock images everywhere. It doesn't exactly scream trust to me. And then it doesn't really showcase the products very well.
Mhm.
There's no images specific to this product that they're selling. And this is an e-com website, I think, right? So
Yeah.
probably beneficial for them to spend some money there. Yeah,
So what I'll say, and this is not SEO advice, this is
no.
CRO, conversion rate optimization. So this won't affect your rankings, or it shouldn't affect your rankings if you're not, changing anything in a crazy way. Um, but my advice would be to update the look and the feel of your site to make it more look in line with like other e-commerce sites now. This will help, so you're getting the rankings now, but you're not getting the sales. This will help with, the sales part. So you're getting the traffic on your website. Now you need to turn that into paying customers. So yeah, just update the site, and it's just this includes like the theme that you're using, just the overall layout of the site, your logo, all that stuff. And my advice would be to just look at other websites in your niche. Look at other websites, just how does the site look and feel, and kind of try to do something somewhat similar. You're not exactly the same, but similar is fine. And then as far as you also said, Nick, that it's got all this text. So yes, the content is very good, but now we're kind of running into this problem where it just looks like this huge wall of text. And I'm not even sure. I guess these are the products right here. So I guess
Yeah.
we're on a category page.
Will you click on it? Yeah.
So yeah, when you click on one of the pages, it gets a lot better. I can see how I'm supposed to add it to my cart and stuff. Um, but as far as the product page goes, I would figure out a way to make this just a little bit less of a wall of text and figure out how to make it more user friendly. And again, look at other sites in your niche, or other just e-com sites in general, to see how they are doing it, and you can kind of do it the same way. One way that a lot of people do is they use tabs. So like you have a product specifications tab that you click on, and then maybe you have a commonly asked questions tab, and so when you click on the other tab, it hides the other one. So all of this content is still on your page, and Google sees it all on your page, but it's just not all shown all at once. So that's a good way of kind of like hiding content and making it look cleaner while it's still being there and still getting credit for all that content. But yeah, kind of, these are just kind of like CRO type things. So yeah, update the way the site looks, get rid of these walls of text, figure out ways to kind of better organize things in a more visually appealing way, figure out how to drive people to your products from the categories a little bit better, just in a little bit more clear way. I think that'll do some work for you as far as making sales goes.
This site might be HTML, just looking at it.
it it does look like
Which
very.
if that's the case and you're dealing with a lot of that, like I don't my recourse of action would be maybe to work on rebuilding a WordPress version of this site so I could move more efficiently. But that's your own business model, and I'm sure you've got reasons for doing things however you're doing them. I would like to give this site owner some praise, though, in relevance to, if you look at that graph, they were basically floored out in the SERPs traffic-wise for like 5 months while they worked on this site. But they stayed on the gas. They, continually worked on improving the site, looking at different angles of what was going on. And over the course of time, they continued to build links. They continued to add more content and build out the network that was there, even though it remained floored. But whenever they found that one piece that was missing to the puzzle, right, which we were able to help them out with, then all that hard work that they'd done over time began to resonate. And I assume, and it is an assumption, that this is going to continue on for quite a while, even if we were to stop right now, just based on everything that'd been done. But obviously, they've come this far and they're going to keep on the gas. But a lot of people, when they hit this kind of adversity in the SERPs, they start freaking out and they start clamming up. And that's actually the opposite of what you want to do. You want to remain focused, remain natural, and keep building things as you audit what's going on versus just stopping work completely. So yeah, praise there on continually looking for the next advancement.
But yeah, as far as the website goes, do you really see anything else that catches your eye? I mean, we're not doing like a super in-depth audit here or anything, but
No, I think they fixed a lot of the things. Now, there was one thing I remember looking at here, but I assume they fixed that too. Footer, like a footer issue where they were sending a lot of traffic elsewhere to sites that looked pretty, yeah, so everything's fixed up now. As far as the main issues that we saw with their on-page, besides these design and CRO issues that we're talking about, I'd say, at a glance, just browsing their website, they fixed everything that was looking really off from a perspective of being natural.
still a little bit unsure what he's doing with his blog here. It's like /blogs/articles. Let's see what when we click on one.
Well, and then, yeah.
Yeah, so
And
that's
then the FAQ is set up kind of funny. I mean, like, there's definitely work that still needs to be done, but overall, they've helped improve it a lot just by fixing some simple stuff.
it might not be a super huge issue or whatever, but the fact that your blog is like /blog/articles instead of just /blog, and then your articles are /blog/articles/blog name,
Well,
blog post
then
name.
they have
So you're
/pages/whatever.
so you're just going like really, really deep rather than for example, on Sir Links-a-Lot, our blog is just like sirlinksalot.co/blog, I think. And then our blog articles will actually just be sirlinksalot.co/blog post name. Like a blog isn't even in there. So that could be something you mess with if you feel like it. You just prefer to not go deep if you don't have to. So basically just keeping it as close to your .com without as many backslashes that are just not necessary. But sorry, go ahead.
Well, if you are on WordPress, then ways to fix that would be custom permalinks plugin and a redirection plugin for after you optimize that permalink, you'll 301 the old one to the new one. And that might cause some volatility in the SERPs, but ultimately, it'll pan out properly over time.
I saw as well, like you were saying, like his about page is .com/pages/about-us.
Yeah,
Like,
so
what is that
actually,
/pages thing? You don't
now
know.
I'm thinking he is on WordPress and those are categories, or has to do with how whoever structured the website, and that's their way of organizing things.
Yeah, I just don't know.
It's not the end of the world,
Yeah.
I would say, but it's not the best look. And my guess is if you do look in the SERPs, majority of the top performing pages are going to be one deviation from the URL versus these random pages backslash whatever.
I think you're
Or
right though. It's
blog
probably just
backslash
some,
whatever.
he's probably on some like ecom kind of like page builder thing.
Could
So
be,
he's got
yeah.
like his slash products, he's got slash collections, and he's got slash pages
Mm-hmm.
instead of just, just whatever. But, like Nick was saying, it's probably not like the hugest deal. I definitely wouldn't say it's like super optimized, but also probably not like the biggest thing in the world. As far, this site looks like it's definitely, it's massively improved compared to what it was before. I'm looking at his blog articles right now. And one thing I'm seeing in your blog articles is I'm not really seeing many contextual links going to other articles. Like I don't really see any contextual linking here. Do you, Nick?
Just the one down at the very
Yeah, I
bottom that
saw
you just
one.
scrolled to.
So let's go to the next one, next article. So there's one, and it's to a product page. Here's another one. Oh, this is going to a page. Okay, so that's a contextual link. More info. There's another link. So that one has 3. So that one has a little bit more. Let's go to another article. It's got 1, 2, 3. What do you think about his contextual links, Nick?
I'm just going over a handful of pages. I'd say he looks all right. I mean, it's random.
So
Maybe on some of these he could
oops.
do a few more if he wanted to.
Yeah, I would say add more, and I would also say I saw a bunch of like very long anchors that you're using.
Yeah, that's true.
I maybe try to be a little bit more natural with your anchor text. You could also, use like your keywords in your anchor text instead of this very long, like long tail type thing. Or maybe you are, maybe just the ones I saw are, you using something different other than your keywords.
But that one you just scrolled over was like 15 words
Yeah, it's
long,
very
wasn't
long, right?
it? So
There were,
maybe a bit longer long tail than you actually need. And a lot of times that's indicative of somebody trying to keyword stuff a lot of stuff in there, which isn't best practice either.
yeah. So, as far as contextual links go, I would say add more. I would say try to do like 5 to 8 per article, something like that. You can link to your product pages, you can link to your category pages, you can link to other hub pages, and importantly, you can link to your other blog articles as well, right? Other blog articles that are kind of related to the same, like topic or whatever, because you might have different, topics on your website or whatever. Just other blog articles that are related, and yeah, use some maybe a little bit more natural anchor text, and don't be afraid to use, even exact match anchors in there, and yeah, maybe just a little bit shorter and more natural and less URLs.
Yeah, lots of URL
Yeah, that's actually not very,
contextual links, which
it's not
it's
natural.
fine to throw them in every once in a while, but yeah, you don't have to do that with your inner links. You can be a bit more aggressive because it makes sense. This article is about this particular product, right? So you want to diversify the way you're saying that, but still you can use money anchors more often with internal linking than you
Yeah,
can from like actual backlinks, right?
yeah,
And maybe every once in a while, if you've been aggressive and you're keeping track and you've got like 10 inner links going to this one page that are all money related, yeah, then the sentence before it can, be about the particular subject matter, and then you say click here for more info or something random if you want to
yeah.
every once in a while. But yeah, no real need to try and shroud it in these very long tail keywords
Yeah, so just to kind of
or the URL.
recap everything, the big things we saw are, well, for CRO, improve your website's appearance, make it look more up to date with just how websites on the internet look these days. Make it a little bit better at driving people to your products, using colors to help buttons stand out, or just what the goals, think about what your goals are and where you're trying to drive them from each page, that kind of thing. clean up those huge walls of text into something that's a little more digestible and doesn't just hit the reader with just this huge mass of information, right? There's lots of different ways you can do that, but just pick how you want to do it. And then as far as SEO goes, your URL structure, we thought it could, basically just eliminate some of these unnecessary steps down the structure, have things closer to the root domain, and then, step up your internal linking game, more internal links from your blog articles, better use of anchor text, less of these huge anchors that you're using, and less URL anchors. I can't even remember the last time I used a URL anchor as an internal link. For building backlinks, we used URL links pretty often, but not so much for internal linking. I think that's about it. Did I miss anything on the recap there?
No, I think you hammered it down.
Cool.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe at the end of the show for the first time, the entire show.
Yeah, we did a really bad job this time. But yeah, thanks guys for showing up. Hopefully we answered your questions. Like, comment, and subscribe as usual. And be sure to join us in our Facebook group, the SEO Roundtable. It's definitely the place to be. We're in there every day answering questions and posting tips and all that kind of good thing. Thanks for showing up, and we will see you next week, same time, same place, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook, in our Facebook group, and here on YouTube. All right, guys, thank you, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.